Back to Toyota Stadium. Lindsay Wilson victorious by a score of 37-31 in overtime. Coach Chris Oliver joins me now here high above Toyota Stadium field. And, Coach, you just said right before we came back on the air, what a football game.
Yeah, I mean, just two really, I think, really good, maybe great football teams, just very evenly matched. You know, it's just a game where both teams had to handle a lot of adversity. Both teams, you know, at different times really bowed their neck or bucked up or whatever you want to say. You know, just, you know, we took it to them early, and our defense played lights out in the first half, and then they came out and, you know, kind of took it to us in the third quarter and a little bit through the fourth, and just, you know, we're just kind of like a heavyweight fight, you know, and you know, it's just one of those where we would punch and have that, you know, got that big long run by Blake 2 times, and they would come right back and score, and, you know, just a great football game. I mean, you know, I have a lot of respect for Coach Cronin and for the program that he runs, and you know, just a great game between two really good football teams.
Was there any point in time, I mean, obviously you're in the moment, you can't really think about being frustrated, but now that it's sort of in the past, it's still very fresh.
Yeah.
There was times when we kind of allowed them to stay in the game.
For
because
sure.
The first half, there was no question who the better team was, and yet it was just a 7-point game at the break.
Yeah, and, you know, that's this game. It kind of felt to me like the opposite of how Georgetown's game with Bethel went. You know, Georgetown and the Bethel game probably should have been a 21-point game at half, Georgetown up, and all of a sudden it was 7 points. And in some ways this felt like that, but at the same time you knew that you know, they're not going to go away and they're going to continue to fight hard. And so, yeah, there were frustrating moments, but, you know, that's part of this game when you have two really good teams. And, you know, we've got to continue to do a better job. There were some moments where we really handled adversity and showed maturity, and then there were some moments where we allowed that frustration to get to us.
You have a smart football team, so they knew that there was that what they were doing as far as the penalties were going were kind of aiding Georgetown staying in the game. Was it more of you at halftime trying to calm them down from beating up on themselves, or was it a point of emphasis that you said, guys, we just got to clean this up?
Well, yeah, I think it was more just cleaning it up, and, you know, both teams were chippy, and, you know, we can't control what the other team does, you know, and I'm sure Coach Cronin's saying the same thing. You know, you just, all you can control is your own team, and, you know, the message was, if we just take care of us and we walk away from some of these things, then, you know, we're going to, one, not get called for penalties, and maybe they will get some of those. So, you know, just some of those things. We can only control our own actions, and we've got to do a better job of just handling those adverse situations, whether it's, you know, between the plays, you know, and just frustrating things like that. And, you know, whatever that is, we got to do a better job of that. And there were some moments where we did it well today, but overall, you know, we got to improve.
The Raiders win it by a score of 37-31. Enough negative. Let's talk about the positive.
Yeah.
There were so many momentum swings in the game. You talked about Blake's 2 big runs. Your defense, Mark Pruitt with his first interception of the season in the overtime. The 2 missed kicks that potentially game winners by both teams. It was just so much ebb and flow in the game. I know you as a coach, you have the spotlight on you. Guys are looking to you to kind of stay even keel. Is that difficult in that situation?
Yeah, it is, and I thought overall, I thought our coaching staff did pretty well, and, you know, I wasn't pleased with some of the things 2 weeks ago. You know, for coaches, myself included. You know, just we were in a tough game and adverse situations, and I thought, you know, our example wasn't consistent enough where it should be. I thought today our sideline was better from that standpoint, but again, it's those high emotion situations, high emotion games. Our guys all know this is such a huge game, and you know, and when things don't go your way, sometimes you just get frustrated. So you know, it's tough to stay consistent and set that example. But I thought, you know, there were a lot of positives on that front today.
Let's go to the overtime now. It's easy to overlook the first play of the overtime when you think of the second play.
It changed the whole dynamic.
With Mark Pruitt making the interception. But Damani Jenkins getting in the backfield, sacking, that set the tone for everything that the next play, because they had to pass at that point. For sure,
yeah. And I thought we had good pressure on the quarterback all day. We had a sack early, and then there were a number where he was just in our grasp, but we just couldn't finish it off, or we were close. But to start off overtime with a sack like that and get them into 2nd and 20 or whatever it was, you know, that changes your dynamic as a play caller, especially when your field goal kicker has has already missed a kick, just like ours would have been, just like we've already had a field goal blocked. So it changes your thought process of trying to get back even just into field goal range. So, yeah, that changed the whole dynamic and, made that second down play. And I think it was a double move. It was something that we had scouted. And it was what a great interception by Mark. That was a very athletic play. That was not an easy play.
So let's go to the offense now. You have to call a timeout. Was that because the play clock was down to 5, or did you see something that you didn't like?
No, it was we just didn't do a good job of coming out of the huddle and aligning the way that we wanted to. I think we were still excited from the turnover. I think we didn't settle in of, okay, let's play the next play. I think it was just the excitement of the turnover and the opportunity of, hey, if we go score, we get the win. Just probably some immaturity. We came out and we called a play, and we went and lined up wrong. So we're not even signaling. We go and line up wrong, and it was not our freshman tight end who caught his first career catch, on that play for the touchdown. So it was just one of those things, just a maturity and focus, and we didn't get lined up, and we probably could have got the snap off, but we said let's not get to 1st and 15. Let's just call timeout, make sure we got it straight, and we did.
And Jaleel with his first career catch just happened to be a 25-yard touchdown.
Jaleel's a very talented young man. He has great hands. He's a big target, and that was a play that we kind of game planned for him this week, and it didn't present itself as something that we wanted to call, I guess, at any point during the game. And overtime was the right moment, and he was wide open. It was one of those. I think all the Blue Raiders in the stadium were just like, oh my goodness, just catch it, and he did. And I didn't even see him run into the end zone. I got to be honest. I think the sideline just erupted, and it was just one of those great moments that you won't forget.
When you've been in overtime now 6 times, this is our sixth time in the history of the program that we've been in overtime. Obviously, you won the coin toss. You wanted to make them go first. This may be a dumb question. I apologize. But how much easier is it to call that play knowing that all you have to do is score any points and you win this football game?
Yeah, I mean, it's different because here you are in any points wins the game, and you can tell your quarterback, hey, if it doesn't look right, just like we're hoping it's going to, hey, just throw it away. And you don't want to do that if you're down 7 or down 3. You don't want to give away that down. So, anytime it's like a specific game plan, and we had the little motion, and we wanted the corner to widen out and hopefully open them up, which it did. But you don't know if you're always going to get that perfect look when you have a little game plan to play like that. So, yes, it takes off the pressure. I think that's actually a very good question. It takes off the pressure where you can sit there and tell your quarterback, before that time of, hey, if it doesn't look good, throw it away and let's go 2nd and 10.
Lindsey Wilson wins it by a score of 37-31. Coach, what did you say to the team after the game? There was
I told them I'm Mr. 1-0. I don't like to make any game bigger than the next or the previous or anything like that. But I said I believe it's been the 1970s since any team has beat Georgetown 5 times in a row. And, that's pretty special for us to be here 9 years. And like I said, I have so much respect for this program and for Coach Cronin. And, I'm still a young guy, but I was really young when I started. And Coach Cronin kind of took me under his wing and has always been great to me and, first class. And, just have a lot of respect for how they do things. And, for us to do what we did today and a few years in a row, it's just kind of a special moment as we continue to build our program, and we're just in year 9. It's just a special time.
Coach, congratulations on a big overtime win over a nationally ranked team in the NAIA Game of the Week.
Thank you.